I'm Josh Smithberger with Delphian Trading. Been trading strategies there. In this video, we'll be going through how to create backtest for custom signals. When we log in, we're on the dashboard. You can get to the wizards, the backtest wizard by clicking the backtest, then wizards or the hotkey on the top. So we'll click that, and we'll go down to the signal. So it goes you through. You can use different indicators. So we select that and hit go. So this one has 5 steps, whereas most of the other ones have 3. So we have to create the signals for when we enter the trade and when we exit the trade. And then that will create our data set for entry exit dates, and then we create our trade rules, and then we submit it. So what we'll do is use EMA. So we'll just look for an EMA, crossing an EMA. So we want to do a bullish cross as our entry. And you can type in any days, 21 crossing a 55. So that's reflected up here. We can add more signals if we want to. We'll just go with the one signal, and then we'll give it a name. Bullish EMA cross 21 and 55. So once we're happy with the entry signal, then we hit next. Now that has been saved, it'll be housed under our organizer signals. And we can now create an exit signal. If you have one already built, then you can go to the existing and then the drop down for signal. So if you have ones in here, EMA, so we'll just do bearish EMA 1020. So if I click this, so I'm looking for an EMA bearish 10 or 20. So I'd already had that created. If you don't have one, then you can go back to the new and create it that way. So now we hit next. So we'll just give it a name, bullish EMA cross, or let's just say Apple. We hit in our symbols, type in the symbol for Apple, and select it. So on these calendars, we have to basically tell it what test period we want to do. We click the clock, that'll give us the entire date range. We can go into the calendar. We could say, okay, let's just do it from 2014. And we'll leave it the exit as the current date. And the signals are listed here. They're already pre-populated, so you can click on them and look at them. So if we're happy with that, then you can click next. If you do the run in the background, so we have it on no, so then it'll pretty much like freeze the computer until it's completed. If you do run in the background, yes, then it'll populate in your alerts when it's done under enter exits. So we'll just let it run on the computer here. So now that those are created, enter exit dates, we moved on to the trade rules. So we're doing a bullish signal for Apple. So let's just do, let's give it a name, Apple. We'll just try a long call at first. Under the strategy drop down, we select long call. We'll use the mid price, and we'll look for monthly, and we'll say from 60 to 120 days, and that's for our options expiration. So we're looking 2 to 4 months out, and we'll start looking at 2 and go all the way to 4. Don't have anything in that range, then I'll reject the trade. And then for strike selection, we have different means you can use. So right now it defaults to delta. If we want to do strikes from current close, we could do that. Let's just say above 2. So whatever the current at the money strike is, it'll buy 2 above that. So we're also looking for in our trade management what we need to do for winning to get out of the trade. So if we just say 30% and say a stop loss of 50, that's based off the initial costs. And you can change them if you want, but that makes sense for this trade. So if everything filled out, so we just hit next. That one already created. Long call 2. So if you already had one created under that, then you need to change the name. So this one's now called Apple Long Call 2. Everything populates, and we just need to say either risk per trade, on a risk like 1,000, or we can say contracts, or we can have a custom that we can build risk per trade here. And there's a video on that. We'll just do contracts, and we'll buy 1 contract. And we hit the back test. So it's submitted, takes us to the results page, and then the yellow indicates that it's running. An alert came through, and then we can click that. So, this basically won 6 out of 11 times, so a slight winner. You can go in and look at the run. So we click the run. And we can see profit stopped. So the only reasons this is getting out of the trade is either that EMA cross, the 10 to 20, or we're doing, or it hits the profit target of 30 or the stop loss of 50. So it also gives you an equity trade, so you can go, that's buy trade, or you can do the daily profit loss. So you just had a little bit of losers at the beginning and kind of flat, so not like a hugely profitable trade. So if we look at that and we say, okay, it's getting stopped out a lot. If we just want to manage it by the exit criteria that we met, then we'd go in and say, change the stop loss to 100% and see if that improves results. Then we just change that only thing, leave everything else the same, and hit back test. So there's the alert. We just click on that. So it didn't really help us. So we can go in and keep changing things, the profit target, things like that. So that's the overview of creating custom signals and backtesting them. If you have any questions, you can contact us at sales@delphiantrading.com or at the number listed.